Alright, greetings all, Shardvixen here. I can't talk. Shardvixen here. I'm not gonna put music in the background because I keep getting a copyright strike on it. And it's not supposed to, so I'm not sure why that's the thing. I mean, it's not strike, but they mute it. So I'm like, I don't know why you're muting it. And I only started doing that, so it's kind of a problem. Because the whole reason I had it was to play music in the background when I was streaming. So that is the way that goes. That could be like his stage name, Fabulous Roger. Okay, so we just finished a hobby stream of me cleaning my working on my garage. I'm probably do more of those just so that I can get into. I like to stay in the habit of doing crafting stuff. Otherwise, I'll just do. So we're gonna finish the background on this picture, and then I gotta figure out what color I want this to be. I'm gonna put yellow up here. So then I'm gonna pull out some watercolors too. Now, the bending of the paper is very common to non-watercolor paper. So it's been my experience anyway. Maybe not other people's, but I'm pretty sure that this back here is that darker color. So we're going to start with that one. You're going to hear a fan. It's very warm. Well, not very warm, but it is warm here. I think we are in 88 degrees. So that is, when it starts getting in the 90s, it's really warm. And can be problematic. Now remember, I told you I'm probably going to cut these out, so it doesn't really matter about the background, because I'll probably use that for something else. I try to use my scraps as much as possible, because I come from that time era where we got wonked over the head about how our generation was creating so much waste. So, how we should take more care on the waste. So I try to take care of the waste. I also was raised in the generation that just was sure the nuclear war was coming, and that we all needed to learn how to get to places of safety, which after watching stuff you realize that's kind of mute. Do you remember that movie where The Day After is what it's called? Oh, I messed up here. We're gonna leave that there though. I didn't mess up since I'm the one that's doing this. It's not a mess. It's just different than where I wanted to go with it. Remember The Day After? The movie about what happens after a nuclear war or during a. I always like that. It's hard to find though. But I remember that watching it. I watched it on, I think it came out on CBS or something, and watching it, and it was a like 3-day event. 3-day event. That was very common. And I remember it just being so scary. Okay, so this one's gonna be magenta, and this one's gonna be a dark purple, and this one's gonna be this color again. We'll see. If I mess up, I didn't mess up. Like I said, tomorrow I'm going to repot all my roses. I do it once a year in the springtime. I'm a little late. It's past spring, but the idea is it's supposed to be springtime. When they start blooming, you want to clean their roots. It helps if they're in pots. If they're not in pots, you don't do it because there's no reason to. But if they're in pots, if you clean their roots out, put some new soil in there, or even just clean, recycle the soil. Sometimes I'll mix the soil up. Hey, T-Minus Mom. Thanks for stopping by. I'm just talking about that movie The Day After. Do you remember it? That didn't scare me as much as I was in 6th grade and I was doing summer school. Not because I was not a very good student, which nowadays that's why people do summer school, or your parents want to put you someplace. I did it because we went and learned extra stuff and new stuff, and I was in a science class, and they said the world would explode because the sun would explode. The world would be eaten by the sun when it explodes. And that gave me nightmares for a very long time. And I couldn't really talk to anybody about it because it was like, well, that's silly. Because really, it's not like going to happen tomorrow. I will be dead. Like many generations of family members will be dead. Hell, humans may have already be extinct by then or moved out into space. But I remember how freaked out I was by it. I kept having dreams. I was looking out, and I still remember them. Looking out into my backyard I had a window in my room. Looking out in the backyard and over the horizon, watching the sun explode. So that scared me more than that movie The Day After, which I don't remember when that movie came out. I think we've talked about that. Tomorrow is your husband's 65th birthday. You're going out. Oh, that'll be fun. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. T minus mom. Happy birthday to you. June birthdays. Oh, you wanna hear funny? T minus mom. My daughter's father's birthday would have been today. He died 2 years ago. He'd have been in his, let's see, he's 13 years older than me. He'd have been 74. Interesting. It's weird how you meet people and then everybody has like some similar birthdays and stuff. Hi, Feely. I haven't met anybody with my birthday though. So the movie The Day After. Let's look this up. I'm not playing music today because they keep giving me copyright infringement thing. It's not a strike. It's not going to affect my channel, but you don't hear any music, so then it mutes everything. I don't know if it mutes me or just the music. So, hello, Mr. Shadow. What's up? You're petting Corden. I want to see that movie. Here we go.
Here's this. It's on the floor. Oh, it's on the floor again.
What is it?
It was a paperclip.
Oh, yeah, like prop him up here.
I'll let you know if I find it. I'll find it again. Streaming?
Yeah. You want to say hi?
Hello.
So, the day after, 1983, the year I graduated from high school. So this movie came out. It was on CBS, and it was, it's a 1983 American television film directed by Nicholas Meyer. The war film postulates a fictional conflict between NATO and Warsaw Pact over Germany that rapidly escalates into a full-scale nuclear exchange between the United States and the Soviet Union. Well, that's not going to happen. They're our buddies now. And the poster says, they told us it would be impossible for us to make this movie. They told it would be impossible for you to watch it. We hope nothing is impossible. It's an interesting movie. It's got all kinds of people in it, like from that time era. So, like Joe Beth Williams, Steve Guttenberg. I wonder what he's doing now. John Coleman, Jason Roberts, who was one of my favorite people, and John Lithgow, who's also one of my favorite actors. The action itself focuses on the residents of Lawrence, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri, and several family farms near American missile silos. With clips from the 1979 Air Force documentary First Strike Used. Oh, ABC. More than 100 million people in nearly 39 million households watched the film when it first aired on November 20th, 1983. I did see it when it aired, and it was ABC television. I would have been 18 years old. Probably watched it at my grandmother's house. With a 46 rating and a 62% share of the viewing audience during the initial broadcast, the film was the seventh highest rated non-sport show until then, and in 2009, Newsel TV ratings listed as one of the highest rated television films in U.S. history. The film was broadcast on Soviet state television in 1987 during the negotiations on the Immediate Range Nuclear Force Treaty. The producers demanded that Russian translation conform to the original script and the broadcast not be interrupted by commentary. So here's the plot. Dr. Russell Oakes works at a hospital in Kansas City, Missouri, and spends time with family as his daughter Marilyn prepares to move away. In nearby Harrisonville, farmer Jim Dahlberg and family hold a wedding rehearsal for his eldest daughter, Denise. Airman Bill McCoy, serving with the 351st Strategy Missile Wing, is stationed at a Minuteman launch site in nearby Sweet Stage, one of 150 such silos. So it's a pretty good, interesting movie. It is a bit, it's like a little weird thriller kind of thing, but I like it. So you don't think you've seen it either? Hey, Jeff, you were just here. A shadow. Okay, so that's gonna be that color. That's gonna be this color. But yeah, so that movie didn't scare me because we had this this thing happen in my hometown, which I will look it up in a minute. I think it happened in the 70s. That was a bit more scary. I did it again. Don't tell anybody. I did it again. I had a little bit too much caffeine today, guys. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay. All right. I'm trying to talk because can't do the other thing. Okay, so that's gonna be magenta. That's gonna be purple. This is gonna be this again. Systematically. Do you need to do this systematically? No, I just like to. I like to do. I don't think I like this brush for this. Might need to get a different brush. So this is still the gouache, not the watercolor. You guys all do fun stuff. T-Minus mom's going out tomorrow. Where are you going? Did you tell me where you were going? Are you just going out to dinner? You guys have a favorite place that you like to go? I mean, you don't need to tell me the name of it. Just curious. Let's see. What was I thinking about? I was thinking about something. Oh, I know. So, um, so in 1973, Roseville Rail Yard disaster. On April 28, 1973, a freight train loaded with thousands of 500-pound Navy bombs detonated at the Southern Pacific Rail Yard. The massive chain reaction destroyed homes and sent debris flying. While not a nuclear detonation, the mushroom cloud and repeated blasts left a lasting impact on local members. So that occurred in literally my backyard. Wasn't in my backyard, but very close because my father worked for the railroad. He worked for the Southern Pacific Railroad, and we lived out away from the railroad, probably about 5 miles away from the railroad. But it was kind of a it was a real. We had everybody in the school. We were in the school, if I remember right. I think April 28th. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure we were at school. I remember us all having to do the under the desk thing. So and that was way more scary than anything's out. Yeah. It wasn't nuclear. It wasn't nuclear. It was just a detonation of other bombs. There was no nuclear radiation. But no. I remember we went by. So yeah. I remember we went by there, and it was just like all thing. There's a big old mushroom crown and everything, and you could feel it all the way through to Sacramento. And says, this guy here, Donna Rice. We lived very close, and it wrecked our house pretty bad. We lived on the other side of the railroad tracks from the Antelope store. We lived on the other side of the railroad tracks from that. We lived to the south of the railroad tracks and over I-80. One unexploded bomb buried itself in our backyard and explosive material in our attic. Our front door latch blew a hole in our TV screen from across the room. My bedroom had an attic crawl space and all the insulation flew into my room. All of our front windows blew in and my sister's beds were covered in glass shards. So lucky that we were all awake and sitting in the dining room. Our neighbor suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder after Vietnam, and he kind of came unglued when the first bomb went off, but got himself together. Then some neighbor guys went to see what happened, and while they were gone, the National Guard came through our neighborhood with a blowhorn and told us to evacuate now. Leave all your possessions, get out. We found out later they were expecting even more powerful bombs to go off. My dad put every woman and child in his work van, no seats, with the blankets on the floor, and we got out. All of their husbands had gone off to see what happened and were stopped from returning, so we gave the National Guard my uncle's phone number. Yeah, so we were further away. Because we lived off of Auburn Boulevard, and then it says that, this was all this stuff that happened. You probably know some of these people now. I would have been 8 years old at the time. Yeah. So we lived out between Roseville and Citrus Heights. So, and it shook the house. That's what they told us. I was pretty sure we were in school though. Yeah. So we heard there was a huge boom. Everybody had to go. It was this thing, but I don't remember the exact time. Says this guy's my dad's train was coming in from Sparks. My dad probably knew his dad at that time. He makes I feel interesting. It's always interesting when you read people's stuff and they're like, oh wait, we probably know each other. It's a good way to find people you don't know though. Go and look at stuff. But I would have been only 8 years old at the time. My sister also came from there. Anyway, I don't remember what time it was though. I just remember the teacher telling us we had to get under the desk. And us trying to explain to him later in life, remembering that that's not the thing. So, all right. So that was enough lollygagging. You went to a local. Thanks, Alot, for lurking. I was just talking about an accident that occurred in the 70s because I got on a kick about nuclear war. Anyway, local seafood restaurant. Seafood is good. I like seafood. Oh, speaking of though. Hey, Roger. I know where I want to go for my birthday dinner if that's something you want to do for me or lunch. There's a Korean barbecue place over off of River Road. Okay. But if you're planning something more exciting like last year, then we don't have to do that. But that's where I'd like to go. Haven't had Korean barbecue in a long time. Okay. Or if you weren't going to celebrate, that's fine too. But I have to say, I don't remember the whole part of the accident except that everyone in my family was worried about my dad. I don't know where he was at. He could have also been coming in from a train. I just don't remember. And there's really no way for me to check now. But probably my mom would have been like a little bit freaked out by that. But then I don't know. I was only 8 and they were still getting along when I was 8, off and on, so it's possible. At least they were pretending to get along, I guess. I don't know how you would put that. My brother would have been 5, so. The house that I grew up in is still around. Because, a lot of houses The house that was across the street, that was one of my favorite houses on the block, is no longer there. It's apartments now. Okay, so me. And how did we get on this subject? Well, I was talking about the movie The Day After. If you ever get a chance, you can watch it for free on YouTube. Does not hold up well in age. A lot of those don't anymore. You know, you watch a movie and you're like, oh well, that's not really how people talk or act anymore. That could be good and bad, I guess. Now, I usually do a birthday stream on my birthday, but my birthday this year, we will be out and about at some point in time. So I don't know how that's gonna go. All right, there we go for that. This right here is that. I don't know what color I want to make that one now, but I'm pretty sure there's some stuff back here. So we're gonna guess and just say that this is the color that's here. So talking about mixed media again, so like color books are a great thing to have. If you were selling your artwork, though, you would have to give credit to the artist who created the color book. If you aren't selling your artwork, you probably don't have to. So it's kind of nice usually. I usually show the book that I got it from, but if I bought it from the thrift store and it was in pieces, like this one I got, not from the thrift store. I'm pretty sure this one I bought from an art store. So these are coming out of this. That's what these pictures are. And it does not really say in here who the artist is. Let's look on the back and see if it says. No, it just it could be made by an AI. Was created by, since it is 2025, that's really possible. Could be somebody's images they stole. This is www.hinkler.com. I don't know what Hinkler is, but they have a website, so that's who sells this. So I don't know if they publish them or. Take a look real quick. Now, normally I play music on the backside of this, but this keeps getting a copyright on it, so let's see what Hinkler is. Hinkler is a publisher in Australia. Let's look at Hinkler coloring books. I have quite a few. Oh, I just saw these ones too. Cozy Techniques and Cozy Patterns. I don't know what that is. Color and Create. Cool. Yeah, I was at the bookstore and they have the cozy coloring. But then here's Twilight, like these ones. Interesting. They have like 295 different types of coloring books. Hinkler. Hinkler has all kinds of stuff. Makes you wonder though, where did they get their art from on it? Because some people will say that they created there and then come to find out they did not, and there's a whole problem with that. They do arts and crafts though. Oh, I just saw these too at Barnes and Nobles. So they got Cozy Clay, Cozy Crochet, Cozy Shrinkies, and Squishies, and Bouncy Balls, and Rock Painting. They're little kits. Interesting. Watercolor Magic. which I'm not sure I really like their images they're using, but okay. Acrylic painting set, how to draw tattoos, and art maker picture. Interesting. They have 465 books though. So they have Sudoku, crossword, killer puzzles, weird shit. That's a weird stuff to be on an artwork thing. But it makes sense why Barnes and Nobles has them. They have games and toys. Lots of puzzles. It's mostly puzzles. Mostly puzzles. So just so you know. And 295 coloring books. So there you go. But it does not say who the artists are. That's interesting. Probably they work for them. That's usually how that works. But I don't know nowadays, because nowadays they like who we are. Nowadays everybody's doing AI stuff. So welcome to Hinkler, a place for everyone to enjoy. We offer epic world filled with endless inspiration where you can explore, play, and imagine and create. Founded in 1994, Hinkler is a global independent publisher and distributor based in Melbourne, Australia. I want to say Texas, I don't know why. Our legacy is characterized by the mission to surprise and delight. Hinkler is a privately owned business with headquarters in Melbourne, Australia. Our products are distributed globally through our partnerships with major retailers, wholesalers, agencies, and international publishing partners. They don't say who makes their stuff. How about licensed? License. So, book stories, kits featuring popular, well-known licensed characters are a fantastic way. So they have Moana, they have Minions, and all that stuff you can get. But it doesn't say who does their other artwork. So I don't know if that's something you want to do, because I know a lot of people are very upset with AI art. So I can't tell you if it is or it isn't. I know there are people that do doodle coloring like this. So, all right. So that's this. I want to color it. That one's part of that one. Let's do our next color, which I should have done the lighter color before the darker color, but that's all right. I don't really worry about it much. Not worried about it much. So we're going to do Subnautica when I'm done coloring. I missed the music. I can't play the music. Might have to look at a free music thing. YouTube has free music stuff, so maybe I'll go with that instead. Because they have YouTube radio, so I might be able to use that. I don't know. Maybe not. No. How'd your ladybugs turn out? Minus mom. Oh, I didn't want that one. I remember you saying you were doing ladybugs. How'd they turn out? Finally get them red enough. Red, red, red. Red, red one. The Master of the Universe is out. The He-Man movie. I think the Mandalorian's out too. I'm not positive. Boo didn't want to go see it, so I haven't gone to see it yet. I don't know if I will. It's getting to be where movies is like, can always just go and wait till it streams, which kind of sad truth. The whole movie theater thing is kind of becoming it's more like let's go watch local films in the artsy part of town. Cult films. Let's go watch cult films. Then we can get popcorn. We can feel like we are back when we were kids. So movies were always one of my favorite things to do. Movies and music. I didn't go to a lot of concerts because they were very expensive for me. Because I didn't By the time I was interested in music and concerts, I was not really living anywhere that I could afford to go. My father wouldn't give me money most of the time for even food, and my mother wouldn't. Also, was not much into. She went to concerts, but I wasn't really able to go because I had made poor choices in my life. Poor choices. But I did see some. So, of which some I paid for and some were dates. So I saw Judas Priest and Coney Hatch and another band, I can't remember what it was, in San Francisco. And I went with my boyfriend and his uncle. And that was fun. And then I hitchhiked to Oakland and saw Aerosmith, and I don't know who opened for them. So the paintings you're working on now are from Donna Fox's workbook. You trace them on your paper. The second one is coming out better. You use more pigment. Yeah, see? Practice, practice, practice. That's all. Practice, practice, practice. I like to practice. Practice, practice, practice. That's why I like to do still life every once in a while, because it's good to practice. I'm going to put this in here just because it doesn't have a place, but it gives me more symmetrical. Tracing's good though, because then you can practice them over and over and over again. If you could trace on watercolor paper too, there's a couple different ways to do that. I think if I remember right, there's a way with your tablet that you can, or your phone, that you can set it up and it'll help you draw directly onto your paper. You remember going to the opening night of your town's movie theater? You saw Snow White. You were probably about 7. Indoor movie theater. So when I grew up, where I grew up, like I was telling you, between Roseville and Citrus Heights, there was a drive-in right down the street from us. And every summer we would go to the drive-in there. Downtown Roseville had the movie theater, and then when the mall opened up, by the time I was a teenager, you could go out to Greenback Lane and Citrus Heights, Orangevale area, and there was a 5 movies. There was like 5 movies in the movie theater, but the one in Roseville and the one downtown Sacramento were old ones with the theater velvet seats and stuff like that, where they used to have concerts at too. So can't remember what I first saw in the movie theater though. I know that I saw New Hope, Star Wars New Hope, and Return of the Jedi there. I know that I saw Watership Down, and what would I see with America? Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, but I saw it by myself. I know I saw movies with my mom, not necessarily my dad, but I know I saw movies, but I can't remember what they were. Family movies. But I do remember going to the drive-in a lot. Saw Bedknob and Broomsticks there. We saw a lot of. My dad liked the drive-in to go see James Bond movies. We saw a lot of those. Date night for me. Whenever somebody wanted to take me out, it was always a movie. Movie and food. I would take myself to the movies a lot. I went to the movies a lot. When my daughter was born, I went to the movies with her a lot, to the point where we would bicycle to the movie theater. We lived down, we would bicycle there when we didn't have a car. I did movies is what was a big thing. TV, movies, and comic books and books. I was in the library probably a lot. I went to the library a lot as a child. Went to the library with my grandmother. I went to the library with my mom. Went to the library with my aunts. Went to the library in school. And in fact, the libraries at school were always my favorite place to kind of hang out at if we had one. Not when I was in elementary school. I think we had one. I just don't remember. But I did like the public library. So we had this, like I've talked about before, we had a public library in Old Town Roseville that was a antique, like not a vintage farmhouse, Victorian style. Was one of my favorite. Love to go to that library. And the kids' books were in the attic. And love climbing the spiral thing to go there. And then in the old, they had like law books and stuff in the center part of it. So then they made a new one when I was in middle school, which was nice too because it was over by the park. And I spent a lot of time there because I could ride the bus down there. Or my mom would drop me off. And I could spend, the day at the library going through reference books and stuff. One of my favorite spots in my grandmother's room was the library area where books were just hidden everywhere and I just had to go through them. You usually went to the drive-in? Yeah. We went to the drive-in because it was just my dad's favorite place to go. He liked the drive-in. I think because, thinking back at it, he was probably drinking in the car. Because my dad was an alcoholic. So I'm pretty sure that's why he liked to go, because he could drink. And my mom wouldn't say anything as long as he wasn't, blind drunk. It was only when he got really bad that she would ever say anything, and then there would be problems from that. But yes, and then
My mom's leaving.
all right, tell her have fun. We'll see you later. Then I would take my daughter and my nephew, and we would go to the drive-in in Sacramento. There was the Sacramento 6 drive-in, and we'd go there. And the Thunderbird finally closed, and it was just the Sacramento 6 for a long time. And by the time I moved to Redding in 1997, it also closed. So it was no more drive-in, and Redding didn't have one. It closed a long time ago. So I don't think I've been to a drive-in movie theater in a very long time. If I had the money, I would create one. Even if all I showed was old movies, because I would only charge if I had the land that I wasn't using, I would build a drive-in, and it would for family nights. Now, here in Oregon, in the parks, they put up a screen and they kind of do outdoor movie night, and that's kind of fun too. You just go and sit on the lawn and watch a movie. Kind of the same, but not quite. I used to have the playground in front of the screen. Saw Halloween in the movie theater. Was not happy about that because people would crawl in the car and scare me. So I did a lot of camping when I was a kid. I was outside a lot. I was telling my grandchildren that I was an outside kid. I was outside all the time. Your mom's dad was a alcoholic, so alcohol was bound from our house. Yeah, I did that for a while. I banned alcohol for a very long time. But if I was going to drink, it wasn't in my house. I'd go out. But then I was a teenage alcoholic and realized that, so that became. But by the time I decided I wanted to have children, I quit drinking when I was 22 years old. I started drinking when I was 14, and I quit drinking when I was 22, 23, something like that. No, 25. I quit drinking when I was 25 because it was right before I had my daughter. Because I did not want to raise her, because I already had anger issues due from my mental health and my trauma and stuff. So no drinking was allowed. And I stayed away from alcohol for a very long time. I think not until she was about 5 or 6, and then I would go out partying with some friends every once in a while when she went to visit her dad. And then I just over the years stopped, and now the calorie is not, it's not worth it. Calorie count for alcohol is just not worth it for me. Roger used to drink a lot. and he had a problem with pancreas, and I had to go rescue him from bring him back here to be taken care of, and he's quit drinking. Every once in a while he'll have something to drink, but... Alright, so we got the background. I want to make that yellow. I want to make these yellow. I was thinking this too would be yellow to bring in the... Maybe orange, because the cockatiels are... I don't think my mom realized the issue, because my mom didn't drink as far as I know. Now, my mom would tell stories, and then my aunts would say, no, those aren't true. So I don't know. Maybe my mom did drink, and she just pretended that she didn't drink. Because my mom wanted us all to believe she was this perfectly great person. I think so she could tell us, well, you do what I do. Maybe. All right, so let's do this yellow. But I'd been to a lot of people's houses. Their family drank. You know, everybody drank as far as I knew. Lots of people. That was a common occurrence. That's what my father would tell us. It was everybody drank. But then, as I got older, I started to realize not everybody. At least not excessively. I mean, everybody might have had 1 or 2 drinks, but you only drink when your mother's. Yeah. Let's see. When was the last time I drank? I think it's been about 4 years now. Maybe. I don't. Sometimes. Okay, so you try to get something you never. Yeah. So when my daughter and I go out, sometimes she buys alcoholic drinks because I drive and I'll have a sip or 2 of them, or we'll walk someplace and I'll have a sip or 2. But for the most part, I don't go out drinking. I usually am the driver, and Roger will get something and drink. So like for his birthday, we went to a. I took him. He got to pick, and we went to a brewery. And so we had hamburger and something to drink. If he drinks too much, he gets sick. So I figure he'll know when it's too much and stop drinking. I can't smoke pot either, so and I can eat it as long as it's not too much to help with my pain and sleepiness. But that's it. Okay, let's see. I want to go a darker yellow. I think I'm going to do gold. I think this is where we're going to introduce our watercolor. So the moment you go from gouache, which is like I told you, in between watercolor and acrylic, because if you add water, then you get more diluted, but you can paint directly here. Sometimes you have to get this a little wet. Like this one's really hard over here, but these are all creamy. So once you get to that point, but then watercolor, you can't use it. You have to add a little water like you do with a gouache there. But the texture is different, as we all know. So I'm gonna use this one. This is one of my favorites, as we told you. I'm probably gonna find me another one. There we go. Remember this one here? I really like this iridescence. So we'll put the iridescence in there. I'm not really cleaning my water, so just so you guys know. I'm not really cleaning my water. It's not a big deal for me. If I really was worried about it, I might clean it a little bit, but I'm not worried about it. I want to do this color here. There's not enough pigment on my brushes for the water to be a problem. And sometimes my paintings are very, very sloppy, and I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Does anybody care? Nobody cares. You know, the hardest time I think for me was when I finally realized my children were older and didn't no longer really needed me. I mean, they still chat with me and stuff, but they make decisions on their own for the most part. And I think that was when I realized I was old. I do help raise my grandchildren, but on the same token, you know, mom has first say. It's not like if I say no, then they will listen to me. But I usually deter to them because you know they gave birth to the little puppies. They should be able to have a statement on them. I had my daughter later in life and had my son really late in life. I was 39. Today's a rambling day, just because I don't have the music, so I have to come up with some interesting stuff. I bought joke books for the boys today. I got for Grace, Boo Boy Grayson. We got him. Would you rather? Because that's a favorite family activity. What we do is, well, I made it into a game because my son loved that. He would watch the Would You Rather videos and then ask me all the time. And I said, let's make a family game of it. So the rules are that it's a red a robin round. So if let's say if I play and then my son plays and then my grandson plays, we pick a number and the person who's closest to the number gets to go first, or the youngest person, or the oldest person, or as they would like to say, the not so smart person, which is usually me. And then we start out. So would you rather eat ants or ski down a mountain naked with all your childhood friends watching you? And then the person has to pick, and then whichever one you pick, you then have to start that one. So let's say I say I'd rather eat ants. I wouldn't. I don't like ants, but I don't like my childhood friends, so probably I'm not going to say I want to have them. And then I would say, so would you rather eat ants or hang out with a serial killer? And then my son would answer that one, and then he would have to start the next one with whatever he answered. So, and that's it. Usually we do it on long trips because the boys just love it. The other one they like is our version of 20 questions is a favorite as well. Because they like to outsmart you. And thinking out of the box is always good. Of which my children, my girls do not like playing 20 question with them, with their children. Interesting enough. But they will join in periodically. That's nice. Okay, so what color? I was going to do orange. I think I'm going to do orange for that. So I want to see how orangey this color is. Do you have a favorite drink, T minus mom? I know you try ones you've never had, but like, do you like to try lemon drops? Because my daughter loves lemon drops, so she will pick anytime they have a lemon drop, she will try it. I like to do mocktails, like seltzers, mixed water stuff. That's one of my favorites. It's like an orangey red. So we're gonna be painting on this for a couple of weeks. I'm gonna paint up my pictures I got because I got that one, and then I want to do this one, and then I'm probably gonna do that one, and for that toad one, and then I have another. Oh, I got another parrot one. So we're gonna probably do this one next for our picture. So we're gonna work on animal pictures. Then I'm gonna do some hand drawings of. I have to decide for that fan favorite. You don't really have a favorite. Yeah. Because like when we go out for teas, I do chai teas, so I'm always tasting new chai teas that I can find. Or if they have an alcohol mix with a chai tea, that's always fun too. So with that new series I want to do for pop fan art is what I'm going to call it. I'm going to start drawing up some pictures for that, and I'm going to be painting some of those. Not all of them. I might do some charcoals as well. So that's what we're going to work on Saturdays, along with on my hobby streams, Legos and art. And then because I'm gonna run out of Legos soon, and I just won't have the cash to get Legos. So because we have summer birthdays, so we have a birthday in June, we have a birthday in July, and then we have a birthday in August, and we have a birthday in September. Then there's a skip, and we have a birthday in November, and then we have a birthday in January, and then 2 in February. So extra money doesn't always come about. And since my sister has quit drinking soda, I don't have as much recycle, which is fine. I just do it because it's there, and then I just use it because I'm the one that collects it. But I have to decide which one I want to do. When your husband and you travel, you check audiobooks. Yeah, I listen to when I'm doing art stuff that I'm not doing in stream. So when I cook now, well, when I traveled by myself, when I was doing job interviews across the state, I listened to audiobooks. And then I now listen to audiobooks when I'm doing stuff in the house. So if I'm cleaning, because it helps quiet the voices in my head, the negative thoughts. I just watched this video, speaking of weird, tangent, random things, in which they did I think I talked about it already, where they did a research on people being able to sit quietly for 15 minutes without any stimuli. I don't know how many people they researched, but it made me have all kinds of questions because, like I said, if I had continued and didn't get sick, research was where I wanted to go. I wanted to research behavior in humans. I wanted to do one on, and I had written it up, on children. I wanted to interview parents of children with autism and see how many of them had very unique physical features. So eyes being one. I had noticed a lot of children that I worked with had absolutely beautiful eyes. You would fall asleep listening to audiobooks or reading? Or you would fall asleep? No. Yeah. See, that'd be kind of what I would do. I would probably fall asleep because I meditate. If I meditate, I fall asleep. You're talking about, T-minus mom's talking about if she had to sit for 15 minutes with no stimuli. Yeah. No sitting for 15 minutes. Or standing. I guess they would let you. That's probably one of the things is I would ask is how many people had disabilities in that test. But what's really intriguing was they interviewed people, and one of the requirements to be part of the study was that you absolutely, in no form, would ever want to be given electric shock. And there's a reason for this. They had a button in the room where you sat, and there was no stimuli in the room. It was a white room. There was no pictures, no magazines, nothing. You just sat for 15 minutes in your own head. And then what they found, because one of the requirements to be part of the test was that you did not ever want electric shock. Like you would do anything else to not be electrified, which would be me. And what they found is that 67% of those men, and I don't know how many, I'm going to tell you right off the top, 67 of them, I was going to look it up, ended up within the first 5 minutes shocking themselves. 25% of women within the fifth, it kind of was a varied off and on, amount started shocking themselves out of boredom. Just because they could not sit with their thoughts all by themselves. I can. I sit outside a lot of times and I just kind of let my brain ramble along by itself. I come up with all kinds of weird thoughts. Like today, I was sitting out there thinking about that. I was like, would I? I would never like to shoot myself. I'd probably fall asleep. I would meditate and just fall asleep. Because when I meditate, I fall asleep. Or I would write, I would design stuff in my head because that's what I do in my back and when my hips hurt too much, I go out on my swing and I lay on my swing and I will sit out there and listen to a book, or I will just sit and think about things. Like I think once I sat out there watching a jumping spider and was wondering about research of the behaviors of a jumping spider. Like, because my daughter had read someplace that if you have a jumping spider in your house and you let them outside, they will die. So indoor spiders have to stay indoor spiders if that's where they've been. And once they come indoors, they have to stay out. They have to stay indoor. You can't set them out because once you do, they die. Now, if you don't like spiders, I guess that's fine. But if you like jumping spiders, maybe that wouldn't be so fun. Pepper. I think it was last year. Roger had a jumping spider that we fed mealworms to. And he left. Went on for better places.
He's out in the living room.
Is he out in the living room?
Yeah, it's out in the living room. It's basically in the fucking planted area.
But you're not feeding it anymore.
No, I don't need to. There's plenty of fucking things out there for it to eat.
But it would travel down to we had a little shelf and he would feed it. And it would travel down there and eat. So one day I sat on my swing and there was one out there and I was watching it. I have a video I'm going to make of a place where I was at, not my swing, but when I was in Reading, there was one walking across. I posted it in my Discord, but I'm going to make it into a video and put it on the end of my streaming. Crows are another one. I sit and think about crows all the time. I did that wrong. That's all right. Just put another wrong here. If I wasn't talking to you guys when I paint, I also have things going on in my head all the time. All the time, things going on in my head. That will blend in there, and I'm gonna do it. I once had this coloring book that when you got into the fine details of the paintings to color, the lines didn't match up. Every single picture. I was all like, why doesn't this line up? Very annoying. Okay. So, I think this is wood there. What color do we want to do that one now? Could do blue. You think about straight? Yep, see, there's another one. I do that too. I do that. I do art. I write stories in my head. My plan, since I've told you guys, I have many stories I need to work on. And I was thinking that I would like to figure out a way to post them up while I'm doing something, and then I could read them to you while I'm working on them. Just an hour at a time, so I can get them done, because I don't seem to be able to sit down and do them myself. I start, and don't. We're going to use this one right here. Oh, I was going to post that thing. I got to go find it. Let me see. See how this one looks. That might work. I'll look at something really quick. Finally. Huh. Somebody's using that Cricut to make paper animation layers. If I was better at that, I would do it, but I'm not very good at it. I mean, I can make paper stop motion animation. I know how to do it. Which I was thinking would be fun to work on. Because you have to take pictures of it, but I have to use my camera, so that wouldn't help on that aspect. Okay, so that's not what I wanted. Yeah. See if I can find the lady I was watching. So it's Paper Pepper. I'm going to see if Paper Pepper shows up. And then if I can find her, I'm going to post her on Discord or him. Because it is very cool animation. I got it right there. Sorry. It is a TikTok channel, though. She does these, like, massage stuff. So it's very cool. Oh, there we go. Her latest one, though, it's not. Oh, there's the Van Gogh one. That was 6 days ago. So I'm going to share it in Discord for you guys. And you guys can go check it out. Because I forgot about it and I wanted you guys to check it out. It's like so cool what she does. So if you have a chance, you can watch her YouTube video. I do not think she has a Twitch video, but I mean, she might. Some people do. But here, I'm going to put it in my Discord right now. I'll put it in Wild Rhyme Studios, so you guys can see it. It's kind of cool. Okay, so it was so cool, you guys, because I'm so into animation. So I would do more. I'm hoping to get back into it and share it with you guys. So we'll see. All right, so we're gonna call it. I'm gonna finish this there, and then I'm gonna call it quits, and then we're going to do. I'm gonna call art quits, and we're gonna jump over. I'm not ending the stream. I'm just gonna set up to play Subnautica. Oh, I didn't want this one. I want this other one. And we'll finish some more of this painting either Thursday or next Saturday. So Tuesday, I'm going to Reading to take my grandson down to see his other family. And then I will be back Wednesday morning, afternoon sometime. If I make it back before noon, then Roger and I will stream some more Sworn. We did buy a new game. So when we're done with Sworn, we're going to do the new game, which is Castle Crashers. It's an old game, so, but it's kind of a cute game, so. Otherwise, it'll be Monday. I'll stream after 3 p.m. It's Fallout 76 this Monday. gonna stick to it because I haven't played it in a while, so I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna play Fallout 76. I don't know if I'm gonna get back to No Man's Sky because I was not really enjoying Expedition, and that's just me, nobody else. It's not really. I don't like the community things, really. But I have more. I still have days to do it, so if I do decide I'm going back, probably like maybe Thursday. I just have other games I'd rather play, personally. And I really only play games when I stream, so. Oh, always, T-minus Mom. Always. It's not that big a deal to share the painting. I don't follow good techniques. We all know this, but it's alright. Like I said, I may end up, whatever I don't cut out, I might end up drawing some stuff. But we have quite a few pictures to do to get ready to make some more familiar pictures. We're going to do the snap, finish the owl, which is literally almost done, I know. And then we're going to start the snail. Got to find some more snail pictures that I want to put in there. And then we're going to start the parrot one, which is this. All of this is part of the parrot one. I was going to separate out the parrots. I don't know that I am. I may make a bigger picture because the idea I have in mind is wings. So I may even do 2 sets of wings that come out like this, or like this. Wings that come out like this. We'll do wings like this, and then we'll put the different parrots in them. That's what I think. That's what I think I'm going to do. Remember, anybody out there that's doing art, you can share it in my Discord. Okay. I'm thinking that one here. I'm going to go ahead and color it this color. You see, I don't follow lines. Don't care. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. You can get metallic like this iridescence and metallics. You can get them in tubes. You do not have to buy them in pallets. You can do them in tubes. Okay, so let's clean up our brushes real quick. I'm gonna go play some scary Subnautica. Okay, so another thing about mixed media is find things you can recycle that you can use. I like using these for mixing. I've said that before. They're T-tops to T10s. You know, you can use vitamin ones. Why is this not open? Open, sesame. Okay, we're almost done with this. I gotta take a couple pictures of cockatiels in my. I have them, but I want to have them on my phone because I'm gonna do Starfire and Sunny. Those are our cockatiels. Want to paint pictures of parrots? You at least should use the ones you already have. And we'll talk about cockatiels and parrots. All right, so I'm gonna switch over now. Switch over now. Oh, that's not nice. Jump in. All right. I gotta move some stuff around. Just a moment here. There's some I was looking at that I was going to tell you about. So I think we'll do a Subnautica, Disco Elysium, and we'll play some more solo comp. I will get back to Outbound. I will get back to all my games. Let's happens all the time. Okay, yeah, put this one over here. I hope that the fans aren't too distracting for you guys, because I apologize if they are. There's not much I could really do about them. So it's the way it is. Okay, so then I gotta go here. That one. So, anybody watching this on Wild Rhyme Time, I am now transferring to Shardvixen's Den, which is my other YouTube channel in which I game on. The art one I try to keep just kind of family friendly games on it. And the art stuff. Everything else goes over to Shardvixen's Den because over there's cussing and very adult themes. So just so y'all know that. All right, so if you are watching this in the future or you're watching it now, it says there's 2 people over there watching. I will catch you on the flip side. Let me see here. I will put it in for you. If you want to come over and watch me do Subnautica. I don't know that you do because a lot of people that watch this are just watching art. So I'm gonna share my YouTube channel here. There'll be a moment. I have to change that blah 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 blah. We'll take this one. This is another video, but it'll get you to my channel, so it's not a problem. If you guys are like interested, I don't know if you are. There you go. So I'm going to be switching this off, and I'll get you all on the flip side. For those people only on Wild Rhyme Time, we're searching over. So, otherwise, everybody else who's on Twitch, just stay where you are, and we'll have a good time. No, I lied. I don't know if I'll have a good time. Might not.